Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Saturdays on Lonas Lane. Now, this episode is going to take us to Nashville, Tennessee. Now, I just got finished listening to these two sing, and luckily, they're not going to Nashville anytime soon. But before we get started, I want to tell you a little bit of a blunder of what I had last night, because, sometimes, we all have full-time jobs.
Yep.
We all have kids. We all have sports that we're coaching or playing softball, whatever it is. So I try to film an episode by myself to go ahead and try to get ahead of the game. Everything was going smooth. It was going great. I was all the way down to that Ole Miss game. And I was talking about Hugh Freeze. And the daggum smoke detector goes off. The dog starts barking right in the middle of all of it. I'm 20 minutes in to this thing. I'm not starting all over. I'm going to have to do some editing. It was awful. It was a horrible experience. I'll get it edited, and we'll get it fixed. It may end up on a blooper reel later on down the road. Can't have Tyler be the only one to get me.
We also have one from last week for the blooper reel, too, that you have.
Well, it was this week. It was this week.
Oh, it was this week. Sorry.
It was this week. Man, I've had a rough week. I've had a rough week.
It's only Tuesday. Now, you want to talk about a rough week? We going to talk non-football real quick. I was broke down in a mail truck, only 30 minutes into delivery for 4.5 hours. You know how much mail I delivered? I delivered probably about 30 mailboxes. And I get to a business, a big old puff of white smoke just coming out of the exhaust. Just kept coming. I started smelling radiator fluid. I said, oh no, it's going to be a good day. And that's a Monday. And I'm on a business route.
That is a Monday. It was Monday all day yesterday. But here we go. We have LSU versus Vandy. If you watch this game, you got to watch an amazing game. It wasn't so much back and forth, but as soon as Vandy would kind of score, LSU was right there, still in reach of taking over the game. And unfortunately, LSU just never could get there. Cody, tell us a little bit about it.
Going into this game, you thought it might be a close game. Right off the bat, you look at Vegas' spread, and you're thinking, wow, they really do believe in Vandy. And they had them in a 2.5-point spread, I believe, at kickoff, if I'm not mistaken. I picked Vandy. I thought Vandy I think they're the better team. And what were they ranked at the time?
Probably 16. Somewhere
so
LSU, 17. Sorry,
LSU was the higher ranked team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and going in being the underdog. It wasn't Vandy though, so that helps a little bit, but it kind of just shows one who Vandy really is. They're a good team. They're a good football team, but it really kind of shows us more of what LSU's not.
Yeah,
and that's not much of an offensive team right now.
Well, this is not your dad and granddad's Vandy team.
No,
this is a Vandy team that looks the part, and it's not usually by this time of the season they are looking to kind of bust up some brackets, to upset some people. That's not the case. They may be favored for the rest of the remaining schedule. There's a couple in there that they've got to pull out, but who do they have, Cody?
Well, they've got Missouri this week,
which I think they're favored because it's at home.
Yeah, it's a 2.5-point favor for Vandy right now.
Then they've got Texas the following week,
which I think they'll be favored in,
but it's at Texas.
I think they'll still be favored.
Then they've got Auburn.
They'll be favored.
At Vandy.
And then Kentucky.
At Vandy.
And Tennessee.
So Tennessee may be the question mark, right? So it really depends on how Tennessee comes out after losing to Alabama and Tuscaloosa, and Diego Pavia just continue doing what he's doing. If he just keep his mouth shut, I'd become a big fan of him. But for the most part, Vandy looks the part. Mm-hmm. What ranking are they right now, Tyler?
They are currently ranked at number 10, if I'm not mistaken. They play this weekend.
I want to say they moved up, yeah.
They're ranked at number 10. Missouri's at 15.
So a 10-15 matchup this weekend.
So they jumped 7 spots. But you got to look, there was a lot of people in the top 25 that moved around a lot with Miami losing. with LSU also losing.
And I don't think
Tennessee
Miami
losing,
dropped enough, and Louisiana
or Louisville.
Louisville came up enough.
No, I don't.
But
I don't
anyway.
think. I think Louisville wasn't even ranked in that game,
And they wasn't.
and they jumped up to what in the teens.
They did.
So they had a good jump, and they're having a good season. So now we're looking at that back to the ACC real quick. Louisville's throwing their hat in the ring because they're
Yeah.
what 6-1 as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, but like you said, we're not an ACC podcast. We don't really keep up with it as much.
I was watching Greg McElroy. There is a way Miami, who looks to be the favorite in the ACC,
loses
doesn't make it to the ACC championship game.
Georgia Tech, and right now it will
Louisville.
be Louisville. Yep.
Well, the head-to-head there, that's easy. And if Georgia Tech wins out,
Yeah.
Miami doesn't.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I was talking about chaos last week in the SEC. It may not just be the SEC. This may go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs very quickly in multiple conferences.
Well, we'll talk this real quick. Ohio State and Indiana. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Those two are going to be, what is it, the Big Ten? I think that's what-
The
so
Big Ten.
So they're in the Big Ten. It's a no-brainer for them, and everybody knows it. The ACC, the SEC, and I don't think there's really many. What other conferences we got? The Big 12 or Pac-12.
They've got two teams.
You're not really seeing too many that are going to be there because, you got UCLA that's coming back that could potentially win it after losing 3 or 4 games to start the season, firing their head coach, and then a few other guys out there. So, for the most part, there's 2 conferences right now that's just straight chaos, and there's like 1 or 2 that's like, we already know our 2 is going to be scheduled for it, and don't worry about it.
Yeah, go ahead and book your tickets. But
Yeah.
Tyler, we're looking at LSU right here. And we want to look at LSU, and we see the struggle on offense. And this is the same Garrett Nussmeier that we saw last year, but it is not the same result.
No, it's not. So, he threw for 225 yards. He did have 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He went 19 for 28, which isn't a bad percentage there, but his QBR was at 67.5. And I don't really see any. Let me go in here and see how many times he got sacked. He got sacked twice.
And
So-
what was his completion?
19 for 28.
19 for 28.
19 for 28?
Yeah. So it wasn't bad completions there, and no interceptions. But
I do believe he was running a lot for his life. Trying to escape the pocket. He got sacked twice. It was definitely an emotional game for him. If you watch there at the end, after the game, he got pretty emotional, got tears in his eyes. He's a senior. It means a lot to him. He kind of knew at that point that may have kind of solidified their spot of being able to take the next step.
That takes them out of the SEC championship game
Yeah.
contention. Now, they still got to play Alabama.
yeah, and Oklahoma
And
and A&M.
They still got to play Oklahoma. They still got to play A&M.
They may have the toughest road.
But that's what they've got to do to get there.
Yeah.
They gotta get past A&M.
And if you're able to do that, if you're able to get through Alabama, Oklahoma, A&M, there's a shot. You still need some cubes to fall in the right direction, but it's still a possibility. I hate to think that the SEC beats each other up that much at the end of the season for how good the season has been so far, but nothing's impossible. I think we've thrown out the impossibility card a long time ago in this season. So
It's not. But then again, you got to play the top 2 teams in the conference currently. You also play another team who is right there in Oklahoma. Let me go back to them. I'm trying to find it again.
who will be desperately looking for a win.
Yeah.
But they do not have a head-to-head matchup with a contender because, like I said, I think you can throw Texas out.
You got who?
You can throw Texas out of SEC.
But who are you talking about? LSU?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, they got Ole Miss, they got Tennessee, they got Alabama, they got Missouri, and they got LSU. So their next 5 opponents are all top 25 teams. So I wouldn't say that Oklahoma also doesn't potentially have If they beat Alabama, that puts 1. If LSU ends up beating Alabama, that puts Alabama at 2, and that puts LSU back in the talkings. I don't foresee Georgia losing another SEC game. I just don't really see it anywhere. A&M, they have a few guys that is a toss-up with Texas if they can figure it out at the end of the season. And who else do they got, Cody?
A&M. A&M?
Yeah.
Missouri.
See, they got Missouri, so there's another one of those.
So
They could possibly lose 2 as well, right there. But, I mean, like we said, still the road to Atlanta, still chaos for everybody. But LSU still has somewhat of a chance. I mean, it's probably slendering down to 20-10s percentage there to potentially go to the SEC championship game to Atlanta. But a lot of things can happen in between now and the end of the season and end of November.
yeah.
So,
But coming into this year, LSU had high expectations. They were in that Penn State realm of, this may be the SEC championship team. This may be a top 4 in the playoff picture. And here they are struggling, hoping to still be in a playoff bid.
yeah.
Now, we've seen this past weekend Florida take out their coach, and they're going to be replacing him. We saw the weekend before Penn State do it when they didn't live up to hype. And a seat that I don't think was too cool going into the season has gotten very hot for Les Miles. Not Les Miles.
Wow.
Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly. Hey, I know that's
This is-
2
I think-
coaches ago.
Listen, I'm thinking this is the second time you've said Les Miles for LSU.
I've had a stroke. I don't know.
No, I do. I think there were some rumblings on Twitter this week that he could very easily be the next.
Penn State coach.
No, be the next coach on the chopping block.
Well, I'm seeing also on Twitter and Facebook, of course, you can't always rely on social media platforms on anything because they also said that Florida State's coach is going to be fired as well, but he's still hanging on by a thread. That he is not a coach for LSU. He wasn't the right fit. And I still think that's true. Les Miles was fit. Ed Ogeron was a fit.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. And I just don't think Brian Kelly was the fit. Now, do I think he could go to Penn State and probably do some good? Absolutely. He knows the area a lot better. But, hey, that's all speculations. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows until the end of the season. But if it was me, I would be pushing for him because he knows the area really well. You're close. I mean, where was he at before? Notre Dame, correct?
Notre Dame.
Up north. Can recruit up there really well. Did really good there.
Yeah, it don't take him, 2 days. He'll have his northern accent back.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. So,
Cody, when we look at this, could this be the season of maybe the biggest coaching carousel? Because you have Penn State, you've got Florida. I suspect that you may have Auburn after this week.
Arkansas.
LSU is sitting there. Arkansas has already fired their coach. UCLA has already fired their coach. UAB, that was the best thing for UAB, going up into Memphis with a new head coach and winning in the big upset.
Did you
And the
say
coach-
Auburn?
UAB, I said Auburn. I said
Okay,
Hoosiers.
okay.
and then also who's not really talked about is Colorado State coach got fired too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been a lot of coaching carousel right now. That's
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech. And we're just, week 8 into the season, starting week 9?
Just a little over halfway.
So there still is more to come for more coaches to get fired, and there's going to be a shuffle. Transfer portal is going to open up. These good players that, at Penn State, those players at Florida, and all these other teams, they're technically right now under the portal, right? If I'm not correct, or is that going to have to wait till the end of the season?
I assume it waits till the end of the season. I'm not sure how that works.
So those guys will be able to transfer and be fine. So this is where
I do think.
I think if LSU is to lose Brian Kelly, a lot of people dump out.
Just because of the expectations were here, and
And
we're
now
You have a senior quarterback who is extremely has been extremely successful. Granted, he's been hurt a little bit, but who was ranked in the top 3 quarterbacks coming into the season in the country, and you have a really good, talented group that you had to come in. You're normally always strong defensively, and you just hadn't lived up to it. And as much as I hate it, a lot of that yes, a lot of players have got to do a lot too, but it starts with coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like, and it may just be some position coaches that are the issue. But I do think it's the largest. Now, Tyler did mention Florida State. They have given him the seal for till the end of the year.
Mike Norvell, yeah.
So they're going to keep him to the end of the year. But they said $100 million. Not 100. I'm sorry, that's way wrong. To buy out everybody's contract staff-wise. That's how much it would cost to buy everybody's. Because his was $56 million.
That'd be the highest.
His is $56 million, and so yeah, I do. I think it would be the biggest names for
that
teams
we've ever seen.
One of the top, yeah, because expectations are so high, and teams just aren't living up to it.
No.
You're seeing these lower level teams, and I'm not saying normally lower level teams. Your Louisvilles, your Vandys, your Missouris. Who else?
Let's talk about
you've got those
top 25 here.
You've got those that in your conferences and other conferences as well. Virginia, who are
South Florida,
who having success
BYU
because
Houston,
of the
Texas
transfer
Tech.
portal. They're being able to build from that and having success, and so I think it could happen, and there could be some really big surprises too. You never know.
Yeah. Well, guys, this was a big game for Vanderbilt. It was a big game. It was a game that LSU really needed. And the talent that was on the field was great. The game itself to watch was one of the best games of the weekend. Just that kind of that, not back and forth like I said in the beginning, but just one would move up and that other one is following. And so it was that great cat and mouse game that we love when we watch football as football fans. So I enjoyed it. I think we all enjoyed it, and I think everybody who watched it enjoyed it. But kudos to Vandy, right? You win that game. This week you got Missouri coming to town. You've got game day coming in for the first time in Vanderbilt history. You had game day at Tuscaloosa when Vandy had to go down there and play. So Vandy's getting recognized, and great job up there, Vandy.
And they should.
Yeah, they should.
They're a great team.
But for the most part, there are teams in the SEC that are not living up to expectations, and LSU is one of them.
Yeah.
And it's something that must be mentioned and has to be talked about. And Chip Kelly, not Les Miles, could
Chip
very
Kelly?
Yeah.
There's twice now. It's
Brian Kelly. Chip Kelly was Oregon, and then Philadelphia. And yeah. Anyways, guys, we're gonna wrap this up right now before I make a fool of myself. And that's very possible. We still got another episode we're gonna film, so it could get worse. But keep watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We thank y'all so much for your support and all your comments. Keep them coming. We do appreciate it. Remember that every day is Saturday on Loner Slant, and you have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.